We're here today on the shores of Lough Neagh at a very specific nature reserve called Portmore Lough. It's a very small lough, but very, very important for wildlife, particular wetland birds. About 10 years ago, no, maybe more, 15 years ago, the Lough Neagh Partnership, in collaboration with the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, decided to clear a lot of scrub. So this whole area was actually covered in small trees, but that's no good for small wetland birds, which actually breed on the grass itself, on wet grass. And the other big important thing, which you can see just behind me here, scrapes and little small lagoons, and they're very, very important as well. Third thing that was really fundamental to the success of wetland birds actually coming here to breed has been predator control. All the fencing all the way around this nature reserve is actually electric, which stops predators getting into it. So it's been a real success breeding here. So this is actually a very good success story and what can be done, and what can be done very simply by just removing trees, digging some scrapes, and actually putting in good fencing to stop predators. But there's still a big fundamental problem here, and the big fundamental problem is water quality. About 4 years ago, something dramatic happened here and on the lough, and that was the blue-green algae blooms that came. So whilst you can address the biodiversity issue, the water quality issue is the next thing to try and address. This particular lake was probably green, and the lough itself is turning green with blue-green algae. And what's the reason for that? The reason for that's very simple. There's just too much nutrients, there's too much nitrate, and there's too much phosphate coming in from the farming sector, coming in from the sewage sector, and so a new programme has to be developed, and that's a programme we're working on at this moment in time called the Sustainable Catchment Programme, to try and look at the whole catchment and to try and look at how do you address water quality as well as addressing biodiversity issues.
The new Sustainable Catchment scheme that's coming on, I think there's opportunities in what's coming up in the future. So if we look at the catchment scale approach to anything really, we start to look in a systemic way at what's happening with water itself on its way down into wetlands such as Portmore Lough. So it's connecting with the landowners and with the various folk within that live within that catchment and work within that catchment, and all of us sort of finding a way and finding a solution to ensure that we have sustainable land management occurring within the catchment, and the water then that flows from those sub-catchments into places like Portmore Lough, again, it's as good as it can be because we've had conversations and because we've put certain measures in place. The sort of practices that farmers currently undertake then would be helping to buffer biodiversity and to buffer water quality because the reduced amount of nutrients and so on that actually reaches waterways. Those are capturing the dirty water, if you like, filtering it out and producing a cleaner water system that's kind of getting into the wider system. And if you scale that up across the catchment, then you get a better water quality towards the end.
I've been farming all my life, so it's coming up in 40 years now. I was born on that farm and I probably didn't know anything else, just love being out in the countryside and farming. The farmer has to benefit and the countryside has to benefit too, and you know, what a farmer gets out of it, well, you can look at your farm and you know, everything's changing, the climate's changing and the way people's farming's changing, you know. Around the country years ago, it was a lot of small dairy farms and beef farms with 20 and 30 cattle. Now a man with 20 and 30 cattle was seen as a hobby farmer. So what benefit is he going to get out of it? Well, ground that maybe can't accommodate for that larger machinery. You know, ground that won't carry heavy round balers or harvesters or things like that. And the farmer's restricted in what he can do. He's able to fence bits off that he can get his field fenced but still get a payment on the bit that he can't travel machinery across or graze cattle on. Also, the farmer, you know, like every other industry in the world, the carbon footprint's a big thing. So the likes of, you know, putting out a lot of slurry and, you know, a lot of nitrates going into the ground, well, we can offset them and we can give, you know, 10-metre strips that we're not farming. Yes, we're going to be able to enhance the environment while doing it, you know. As we all know, farming is not the most profitable industry in Northern Ireland or throughout the world. So I suppose with the farmers signing up to this scheme, there is financial benefits that they can gain from it too. Whereas if they were going to undertake things by themselves and they knew that they needed to do something with the land and their land fitted into the scheme, it makes good sense for the farmer to then apply for the scheme, and he would get a return by also providing something back to the environment. The biggest thing that I have noticed is the hedges used as corridors. There's a lot more birds coming back, there's a lot of wildlife about. The rivers I haven't seen as much, and that's probably because of the amount of rainfall we've had. I would say if we didn't have the rainfall, I would see more of a benefit from the rivers, but definitely I see a lot of wildlife coming back, and it's good to see them in the fields.
My name is John Farr. I've been farming here basically all my adult life. My father before me. We're here on the eastern shoreline of Lough Neagh, and I've been involved in farm scheme now over 20 years. So we're around 150 metres from the loch shore here now, and this is a flight pond for ducks. And back in 1993-94, we got a department grant to dig it out, make the flight pond and plant local tree species around it. So there's alder, birch and willow, and as you can see, there's good clean water in it, it's good for the ducks. We have actually got a floating island out in it for the ducks to sit on as well. Water's a bit high at the moment, but it will drop as we move more into the springtime. But once again, you can see it's improved the whole environment around the field. This was just rushes and swamp. You couldn't even walk across it in the summertime, but it's actually improved the drainage of the whole field, and obviously it's good for wildlife as well, especially the wildfowl. Especially in areas like this where there is designated as an area of outstanding natural beauty. It's very important, I feel, that the farmers have responsibility to keep it that way. So basically we've got a grant to put in this pump. This is a pump that the cattle will push their noses against, and it will bring the water up from the loch just a few metres away, and they can drink it. It means they don't have to go down to water. We also, since that, we've got a grant to put mains water from the road some 300 metres away. We'll be able to bring mains water right down too, so if we need to fill drinkers, or if people need to wash when we're doing tidy ups, we've got mains water here as well. So once again, means you don't have to go into the loch, means animals don't have to go into the loch, reducing pollution. Well, certainly in our case, we have put in the buffer zone. We manage the land around the loch. We don't put out any chemical fertilisers on it. It is just farmyard manure. We make hay off it for the first cut. So that means that the grass seed goes back into the ground again to reseed the ground. All our land now is in long-term grass leads, so we don't have to plough or do any reseeding, manage itself. And then after the hay is taken after their haylage, we graze it with cattle and horses to manage the aftergrowth of grass. So it is we get a compensation grant for doing that way, managing that way, because obviously land is not as productive as it might be if we were to use chemicals and pesticides. So we do get a payment every year to compensate for that, and we feel that payment is compensating us. And we also feel we want to protect this area. Say, I've lived here all my life. It is a beautiful area, as you can see, and we want to keep it that way. I would encourage any farmer, especially those who live in an area where there is environmentally sensitive and they want to protect that environment, to certainly look at it. Even if the farmers are quite intensive, you don't have to commit your whole farm to it. You can only commit certain parts of it, and so it's not as if you're just giving it all over. So it's certainly worth a look at. And I know that there are changes coming with the Farming with Nature scheme, and probably more information, like myself, needs to be found out about what will be expected with us going forward from 2027. But yes, I do think it is a good thing to protect our environment.